And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live on a Thursday night. It is 9:30 Central Time here in Alabama, but we got our good friend MSU #1 fan on here to talk some Big Ten football. How you doing today, brother?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah. Good to see you, man. I know we try to catch up every couple months,
Yeah.
and I think you always offer good takes and analysis and insights for us as far as the Big Ten goes. But a lot of teams to look out for this year, teams to look at in terms of scheduling. And, you and I talked before we got on here about the new teams plus Michigan State. I definitely want to tackle those tonight.
Yeah.
So,
The
where would you
Northwestern
like to start? Yeah,
Northwest Northwestern and their supposed like a soccer field, I guess.
really.
That's where they're playing their games this season. And their game at Wrigley.
Yeah.
I would rather have that the games played at Soldier Field. At least the Bears Stadium can hold more fans.
Northwestern Medicine at Martin Stadium, Evanston, Illinois, is where they're playing their home games.
It's
I'm
a
going to look
major
this
league
up real
soccer.
quick.
I guess it's like a major league soccer stadium, I believe.
Hmm. And it looks nice.
Yeah, the
It
photos
really
do.
does.
You can see the capacity that it holds though.
What is it?
I think like 15,000.
Dang. That's crazy, bro.
That's why I think
For
Soldier
real.
Field. That's why I think that any rivalry game like Northwestern Illinois should be played at Soldier Field.
Yeah. Yeah.
You play at
So let's go ahead real quick. Finish up real quick.
you should play the game at Northwestern a year, at Illinois, and then go to Soldier and rotate.
Yeah. So let's dive in. We wanted to talk about the new teams plus Michigan State tonight. Which of the teams do you want to start with first? Because I got schedules pulled up. Would love to look at them with you and get your input.
Oregon.
Oregon. All right. Let me pull them up real quick. We got a couple people watching. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. Really would appreciate it. Love you guys. Let's get into the Ducks. So they open it pretty easy. I would say this is as easy as it could get for them. Idaho, Boise State, at Oregon State. That's a tough rivalry there in the Civil War. At UCLA, they do play your Spartans at
Yeah.
home October 4th. Then they play the Buckeyes at
Yeah.
Purdue, Illinois, at Michigan, Maryland, at Wisconsin, bye week. And then to wrap it up on November 30th, they host Washington. My assessment of Oregon, and I believe when I was doing schedule previews, I believe I went through and did Oregon. I I might have them 11-1 because I know they lose a couple key pieces, but they make up for it in the portal and in great recruiting. I think Dan Lanning's off to a great start. I do think they'll be better than Oregon State. They could lose that Ohio State game, but I think I have that as a loss for the Buckeyes. At Michigan, I don't know. It's
I got it as a win
a win. Yeah.
for
Here's
Oregon
the
just
thing,
because
though.
like Oregon, they know who their quarterback is.
Yeah.
I think they got better receivers. They're just more physical right now. And plus, they're not under the allegations either, where Oregon can just be Oregon.
That is true.
Because
It's just
Michigan,
it's hard to pick a team to go unbeaten. I guess if I had to pick a game, I would say going to the big house against Michigan cuz Michigan's going to start out kind of rough, right? You could
yeah,
get Ohio State at home. You could lose to Purdue if you're not careful, but I don't think so. I
yeah,
would say the big house. If you go on the road, regardless of like Michigan's coach or anything like that. I know they got turmoil right now with the scandal, but I think this team could set it aside, get it figured out by November, and they could be dangerous that later half of the year. What do you think?
the only problem is, though, they have to play Michigan State and Oregon back to back, I believe.
Michigan?
Yeah,
Let me see. I'm gonna pull them up real quick.
and I think
Yeah, both at home though. No bye week in between, but a rivalry game and then a top five, if not top.
3.
Yeah, we'll call it top five, top three type of team in Oregon.
My question is, though, can that offensive line handle the physicality of back-to-back teams like that?
And no bye week in between. I don't know. I
If
don't
they're
think they
coming off
can,
of
honestly.
either win or lose Michigan State, it's going to be an emotional week.
Yeah,
So that don't
for
help.
sure.
And if you are looking to head to Oregon, I'm not saying Michigan State will win. You better be careful.
Yeah. But I look at this schedule. I think Oregon should be favored in every game. They might not be favored over Michigan. Michigan could be
Depends.
favored. I think they get revenge for losing twice to Washington last year. I do think they win that game. Be careful
Washington,
with this Wisconsin. Wisconsin could be tricky. I really look at the road games because all their home games outside of Ohio State should be fairly simple to
yeah,
win.
yeah. And Purdue's gonna be a tricky spot too.
Yeah, ask
Michigan
Ohio
State,
State.
yeah, or
Yeah.
Michigan State, and what 21?
I do have to ask you since you're on here and you are a Spartan fan, like
Yeah,
what are your expectations for them? And we could even go ahead and pull up their schedule if you want to
yeah.
look at it.
I'm probably gonna say 9-3.
At most.
Yeah,
I like it. I mean, I love Jonathan Smith and what he was able to do at Oregon State, and I think he's bringing over a really good defensive mind. Plus, remind me of the quarterback, Caden Hauser, right? Is he still there?
no, all of them are gone. We have Aiden
Oh,
Trials now. We have the
hold on.
North Dakota transfer
Yeah.
and 2 other, and we have a receiver in Nick March.
Mhm.
He has he's the tallest receiver we had, but he's physical like Jaden Reed was. But he has the speed of Jalen Naylor combined into one.
I don't like this road schedule for you guys. At Boston College, at Oregon, at Michigan, at Illinois. The home
Yeah,
games I like though. I mean, I think that
okay,
um I don't know, man. Ohio State will get you at Maryland.
could be.
Maybe that's a toss up. Florida, Atlantic, Prairie View, those are wins. At Boston College, I don't know what to make of them this year. I really don't.
That's probably a coin flip too.
It might be.
Iowa's
Indiana, I think you beat Indiana. You could get Rutgers at the end of the year if things go in
you're
your
right.
favor late in the season.
We could get
Maybe
Purdue.
Purdue. You'll get Purdue. So
Ooh,
Indiana, Purdue, Rutgers. That's 3. Prairie View.
saying that.
If you could win the non-con games, if you win all 3, and then you get Purdue, Indiana, and Rutgers, you'll have 6 wins and you'll be
Yeah.
on your way to a bowl game. And I don't think losing to Ohio State, losing to Michigan, yeah, you want to win those big time games.
But
But dude, if you could win those 6 games I just pointed out, you'll be bowl eligible. Don't hang your head.
not to mention Iowa's winnable too, possibly.
Iowa, yeah, they don't play offense. We know that.
It depends though. This Tim Lester now is their new OC.
Yeah.
My question is McNamara healthy?
Hmm.
And what's the offense look like? I think we
You gotta beat teams like Indiana. You beat Indiana on the road last year. You beat
barely.
Nebraska too.
I feel
Central
like
Michigan and Richmond. Yeah.
I think Michigan could be a lot closer. Just depends on the quarterback situation.
Yeah. For which team or both teams,
Michigan
you think?
for
Oh, for
Michigan,
Michigan? I
because it
think
sounds
it's
like
Alex Orgy's to lose, though.
the only problem is that he can't throw a ball more than 10 yards.
It is true. He can run, though. I saw him run last year.
Yeah, I think though
Yeah,
they lose Blake. They had Donovan Edwards, but he can't carry the team on his back.
right.
And I don't know if anyone can make that next step. And I think the defense is going to be a hot mess. Because Fresno State and Texas are no walkovers. Fresno walked into Purdue and beat them last year.
Yep.
In Texas, that's I think Texas could be in the national championship.
I would like them. I want to see them go up against Ohio State. That might be my call right there because I love Texas this year, man. They should have been last year, but obviously Washington got in the way.
Yeah.
If they really boost their offense with their transfers and Nyblack and Bond from Alabama, they have a really good chance.
And if Quinn Ewers can stay healthy too, that's what really dampened.
And even if he doesn't, I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world. I mean, you've got to practice as if you're a starter if you're Arch Manning right now, right?
And
And
I
you
would
got to
be
be prepared.
yeah. And I would be surprised if Arch Manning played a little bit against Michigan.
I think it depends on the score. If Texas is playing Michigan and they're up by
17, 20 points
yeah,
coming
for
in.
maybe 14 at minimum late in the game, not middle of the game, late in the game when you really have it sealed, put Arch Manning out there and see what he does. Yeah.
The only problem I have with Ohio State is though, we are their first road game and their first Power 4 team they play.
Yeah.
And how does Will Howard look? I'm not gonna say we're gonna beat them, but it should be a lot closer than what it should be.
Yeah. So what other teams, man? We got Michigan State. taken care of here. I would put y'all, and I think I did. I would put at most. I think you could hit 7 wins, maybe
Really?
6. Like I think you have to, but I think you could do it. I really do. And I think the non-conference helps push that. See, a lot of
Yeah.
people look at it as, well, they didn't win their conference, let alone make their conference championship. Hey, look, a team like Michigan State with a new coach that came from Oregon State, and what Oregon State did last year, the last 2, 3 years too, Jonathan Smith is the guy to bring this program back to victory where he could boost them to a bowl game. And that's all Michigan State, I think, wants right now, right? You're
Yeah.
not thinking about the playoff at least this year. Now, you are thinking and hoping, but think about that maybe around 25, 26 or so. This year, just win 6 to 8 games, then build off of it. And then maybe if it's based off recruiting or portal or anything like that, then maybe you think about playoffs. But this year, just make a bowl. It's that simple.
And I think too, though, a lot of these non-conference rivalry games now, they need to be on rivalry weekend.
Yeah.
That's the only issue I have. Oregon State is not the third game of the season. It needs to be the last. The Apple Cup, same thing.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is it why did the schedule end up like that?
I don't know.
To me, it needs to be on my weekend because it's tradition.
Yeah.
Just look at what was it, Nebraska and Iowa. They're still playing on what is it, Black Friday? I think it is.
Yeah. They did last year. Um, I remember watching that game. That was a good game. Uh,
Typical Iowa
I think they
fashion,
still
13-10.
play. Yeah, I think they still play on Black Friday.
But to me, though, that's a tradition. It has been since Nebraska joined, I believe. So I
Yeah.
think all the other rivalries have it. I think Michigan State and Michigan might be a little bit bigger than Ohio State, Michigan, just because of the in-state rivalry. But
Yeah.
USC's gonna have to learn to play defense at some point because their schedule is brutal.
Yeah.
They have Notre Dame and Michigan.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk some of these new teams. They got LSU to open things up too. They got to
Yes,
host Penn State,
but that's at home now.
UCLA. Yeah,
But you
USC's interesting.
they have to play at. Why do I watch USC at Maryland?
At Maryland is after Penn State,
Why would you just play at Penn State and at Maryland back to back? Save yourself some mileage.
right?
If you think about it, East Coast teams don't do well on the West Coast.
That is true.
So we have Florida State, Boston College on Labor Day. Who's the Sunday games? USC, LSU.
Hmm.
Who's the other two
That's
games?
it, I think. On Sunday, are there more?
Yeah, I think there's two or three.
Let me see.
I don't think USC makes the playoffs this year, but UCLA, their DC now went to USC.
I mean, you got Sunday, September 1st, Alabama State, NC Central, and then LSU, USC is what you got for
That'll be
FBS.
I'll just stick with the good old USC LSU game.
Yeah, the Vegas kickoff there. And then Monday on Labor Day, Boston College at Florida State. That actually could be interesting there. I mean,
I'm
what if Florida
taking
State comes out?
I'm taking Boston
I'm going to take Florida State, but it would not surprise me if they
just
lose.
because Florida State's coming back from Ireland and probably lost to Georgia Tech, and you have to play Boston College.
Yeah.
And that's why right now I think Boston could really derail Florida State's season.
Yeah.
Isn't UCLA plays Indiana for their first ever Big Ten game.
At the Rose Bowl, too. They have a bye week early on September 7th, week 2,
So,
after going to Hawaii. And then they host at night on the 14th. They host Indiana.
so why does UCLA and Purdue both have bye weeks week 2?
Someone has to, right? Like, you can't have a bye week. I mean, bye weeks are every week, but I don't know why it's those two teams.
And it's early in the season.
So here's UCLA.
Hawaii is gonna be tricky, I think.
I think they're a good team. They could, for UCLA, it could be a challenge.
I think it's gonna be battle of the blonde hair threads.
At LSU, that I could go ahead and save you.
No,
That's
that's a
going to be
loss.
a loss. Yeah. Oregon loss at
Loss,
Penn State loss.
loss.
They could beat Indiana. Let's go back up to that game. I think they could beat Indiana
Especially at home. Coming off
at
a bye
night
week.
too.
Who does Indiana get the week before?
I don't know.
Well, I think they have the uh, they have FIU, somebody, then UCLA. But I'm taking UCLA because it's home.
Western Illinois before UCLA.
Oh, so they basically have a bye week.
Yeah, right. The Leathernecks.
Really? That's the best name they can come up with?
I guess.
At least Northern Illinois has an actual mascot with a husky.
Yeah.
I don't I just think Washington right now is just a disaster. One, their whole team left.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think
Washington might not be that good this year.
I
New
might
schedule and everything.
I think their best chance would be what, 2-10?
Yeah. Don't sleep on this team either, by the way, for UCLA to play at home. Fresno State's no pushover.
Just
That could be a challenge.
ask Purdue. Because if they do beat Michigan, I think
What's
Fresno
that?
because if Fresno State does beat Michigan, they may be the group of 5 team that sneaks in.
Yeah. They got to open with Michigan and Ann Arbor.
I think
Sacramento State, New Mexico State, back-to-back road games. They could be interesting here. They could be that group of 5.
I feel like App State might have a shot there too. Because I think Appalachian State could beat Clemson.
They could beat anybody. They always pull upsets.
Just ask Michigan.
Yeah, right.
Then it's Western Kentucky's always interesting.
Western Kentucky. That's who Alabama gets to open with.
They're not a pushover either.
Nah, especially I would say like
After
as
that bowl
much as
game,
it is a home game for Alabama. It's also at night. I believe right out the gate, Milrow and the offense will be clicking. But at the same time, dude, like
it took him
I
some
would
time last
say
year.
it did. And
And with the new coaching staff, he might have. I
he's
think
young, but with an offensive mind like Kalen DeBoer, like he should be able to catch on quickly, I think.
it's not going to be a pretty win if they do win.
Right.
Did you watch their bowl game against ODU? They had a 38-point comeback.
Yep.
The college football experience. The one guy loves East Carolina.
Yeah.
He goes, they're going to make it. I don't think they will.
Not this year, but maybe years down the road, it's possible because they're not a bad team either. I just think that the group of five that gets in the playoff is like, uh, I think it'd have to be one of the obvious choices.
Tulsa's a
You
good
know,
option.
it'd have to be like it would have to be like a Boise State
But
or
Tulsa,
somebody,
Tulsa's always pretty good, aren't they?
huh?
Tulsa,
Tulsa's good. I look at teams like, uh, I don't
Fresno
know.
State.
I don't really think of anybody from the MAC. But I look at Boise State. I look at
For me, it's Fresno.
Liberty. Fresno's good. I like Fresno.
Fielding.
Liberty, New Mexico State. I guess New Mexico State can make it out there, but
No,
I don't know.
I don't think North Texas is there. UTSA, possibly.
Could be. I would hope my dream scenario because I'm going to school there, UAB, but I don't think so. I like
Maybe,
Trent Dilfer though. I think he's a really good coach, and I think they could have a good and improved year this year. They probably get to 6, 7 wins and hit a ball, but it's a tough schedule. They got to go to teams like Arkansas. That's interesting. Looking
I,
at their schedule, could I pull this up real quick?
yeah. I feel like the only MAC team that legit that has a shot would probably be Toledo. That'd be it.
Toledo, yeah, they're good. So here's UAB. UAB 2024 Alcorn State
That's
at
a win.
Protective Stadium. ULM on the road. ULM's not bad. Just ask Bama fans.
Yeah.
um, yeah. Arkansas. I don't know if that's a guaranteed loss though,
I'm
because
probably
Arkansas is gonna struggle
I'm gonna probably say probably
always.
a slight loss just because it's on the road.
Right. Bye week. Navy
That,
runs that triple option. You can't stop it.
that's a tough game. They
I'd
probably
say a
lose
loss.
between Arkansas and Navy. They get one of them.
One of them. So they
They,
probably split it 1-1 there.
yeah,
Army and Tulane at USF. I think USF be improved a little bit this year. Tulsa, Yukon, Memphis.
UConn's a
I mean,
dumpster fire.
this is a really interesting schedule.
Is UConn? What was UConn's record last year?
It wasn't like basketball, I can tell you that. I
Same thing with South
want to
Carolina.
see too. They open with Maryland on the 31st.
To me,
UConn last year in
UConn is
football.
me
They
right
went
now.
3-9.
The year before, we actually got their running back Nate Carter now. So
Yeah.
can you imagine if I think Army might have a shot to go to a bowl game.
Who?
Army.
Yeah.
Air Force would be a quality Group of 5 choice.
Yeah.
One thing that really,
Yeah.
one thing that wises me off though is when they play Army Navy, if they have a 5-win season and they beat Navy, they still don't get a bowl game.
I hope a team like Troy could get in there. Troy's interesting.
It's really, I think,
I
Bowling
just want to know what
Green,
they did last year. Bowling Green, that's a good one.
Tennessee,
11-3, dude. If Troy does not do it this year, something is wrong. 11-3 overall last year, and they lost their bowl game to Duke, but they kept it really close, 17-10.
to Duke.
They beat App State for the Sun Belt title. They
Just
beat teams on the road like ULM, Southern Miss. What were their three losses? So you had Duke, you had Kansas State, and you had James Madison. And we know about James Madison last year. They
yeah,
made March Madness. And then you look at the football side of things, there was that. Remember, they were trying to get a petition or something so that way they could be bowl eligible.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Troy could be in this thing. Just watch out because they shut out teams like Army. They held a lot of teams under 20 points at Georgia State and Arkansas State,
Tennessee
South
fans,
Alabama, Texas State. ULM was held to 14 points. I mean, there was a lot that they did really well last year.
Tennessee fans know about Georgia State, don't they?
What's that?
T- just ask Tennessee fans about Georgia State.
Yeah.
To
Yep.
me,
Yep.
they've
Yep. Yep.
played.
Yep.
Is anything wrong with the SEC? Why do you schedule FCS schools in November when no one shows up?
I don't know. I mean, you notice that it's always before the rivalry weekend just to get them a break, right?
Yeah, but still, I
Like,
don't get it though.
yeah.
To me, Rutgers might have a shot at the 12-team playoff.
I don't know about Rutgers. I really don't. I have a lot of questions there.
I mean, Wisconsin might have a shot.
Wisconsin definitely has a shot.
Iowa in their 20 points a game has a shot.
What's that?
I said Iowa in their 20 points a game has a shot.
Only because their defense will be saving them.
I feel like Stanford's, no one's talking about
Dennis Wilson. Shout out to the comments, by the way. Atypical Gump, Wrestling Talk. I haven't seen you in a while, Dennis Wilson. Bama is big trash in 24. They might be. I don't know. I think it's a lot of unpredictability with Alabama and other teams out there.
I
And
think
I'll tell you this: you're going to have 12 teams in the playoff. Don't be surprised if any Any of the 12. I don't care if it's group of 5. Don't be surprised and sit there with your jaw on the floor for the national title game if it's not a Georgia, Ohio State, a Bama, Michigan doesn't repeat or something. Don't like
Michigan can't
just
repeat.
take it for what it is. Take it for what it is and enjoy the 12-team chaos. Is what I would say.
It's like a mini March Madness, kinda.
Oh yeah. Look, people complain about the changes, but the 12-team playoff, I think the closer we get to the season, and then as the season progresses and you start seeing the rankings and stuff, I think a lot of people are going to appreciate this.
And Michigan can't repeat either, so they basically can't.
Yeah. But, I don't know.
How long are they on a Pro Bowl ban for? Is it 2 years?
Yeah, they said to. Hold on. So they're on parole. I know that.
Yeah,
They can't even make the playoff?
I would assume because that would be a bowl game if they get the first round bye.
Yeah, but if you win the Big Ten again, like, are they really going to cheat out and keep out the Big Ten champions?
That's why we have Oregon, Michigan's favorite, Ohio State,
Hmm.
Penn State.
Yeah. What else is on your mind tonight, buddy? We kind of went through. We talked a lot in under 40 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I just can't wait to see if me and Nate and you can get together and have a little or a little bash night.
I could set that up for you if you want.
Yeah, why
You
not?
and Nate going head to head. We could probably do something the week of that Michigan State game
That's what I was
if you
thinking.
wanted to. Yeah. Well, I'll just have to check my schedule. Just send me an email and remind me about it.
Yeah,
But like that would be great, man. I'd love to see some guys go head to head, like some fan versus fan type of deal.
yeah.
Uncle Lou needs to bring that back. Hashtag bring it back. Fan versus fan. So Michigan State, that would be the last weekend
In
of
October.
October. Yep. Michigan's already favored by 21.5. I'm not covering that.
No.
No way. Now Oregon goes to the big house the following week. Interestingly enough, they're favored by 3.5. I would take that.
And flip it.
No, I would favor Oregon over Michigan right now. I would
I
totally
would,
do that.
yeah.
I
Really,
don't care where that game's played. Oregon's a better team this year.
and right now with Michigan's quarterback situation, their line,
Yeah,
who's behind Donovan Edwards?
I don't know because Blake Corum's gone. Ohio State is favored by 9.5 over Michigan. These lines are so awesome.
Uh, Another question for Michigan fans: was he short?
So you got look. I'm looking at this. Ohio State, Oregon, Texas. That's 3 games where the line's already out and Michigan is already an underdog. And think about this, bro. Only one is on the road. That's Ohio State. Michigan has Oregon and Texas at home, and they're underdogs
I
in both.
understand the Texas one.
I could understand both of them.
Yeah, What
honestly.
I don't understand, to me, Ohio State's a lot more talented this year than Michigan.
Yeah,
And it's like, so it took Jim Harbaugh how long to beat Ohio State?
7 years, 8 years.
Too long if you're a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
But the only question I have now is, can Sharon Moore keep that going?
No. I'm saying no. Sorry.
And if any year Ohio State wanted to put the casket in the ground, it's this year in Columbus.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see Bama, Ohio State in the playoff.
Yeah.
I want to see Texas and Texas A&M round two.
That could be good.
I'd be down for it.
I want it so bad. I want Alabama Penn State for my, grandparents' sake. Just so we have a game together.
Mm. I would like
Yeah.
to see if Michigan State would make it in. I want to see
They
Michigan.
could.
I'm not saying
If
they
they
do,
win
but
if somehow they're a Cinderella that wins 10 games, they are getting in the playoffs, no doubt.
because
Anything less, like, even if you went 9-3, even though it's kind of a tough schedule, like,
it's still a shot.
I don't know. Yeah, you get a little bit of shot. You might get that 12 seed, but that's a long shot to put a
Look,
3-loss team in there.
look, they'll give it to Notre Dame easily.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
they
to
might.
me, Michigan State had a tougher schedule, and they're actually in a thing called a conference.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see Purdue and Notre Dame. Michigan State had the Antonio. Players liked it when they were underdogs, and no one was talking
Yeah.
about them. That's how we like it.
Yeah.
If Michigan played the week before Michigan State,
Before so you guys get Iowa before Michigan. They get at Illinois,
that's 3 straight physical games in a row.
Washington
That's a
on the
loss.
road,
That's
bye
probably a
week,
loss.
bye week at Illinois, Michigan, and then Oregon, both of those at home.
They're bound to lose probably one of those three, I would say. Maybe two of the three.
Anyway, sorry for the silence. I'm like looking at schedules and stuff. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
Um, I
Well,
don't know, man.
I don't understand why Washington State is not on rivalry weekend. It should be.
The Apple Cup, yeah, I agree. It usually is, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not this year. It's the third weekend of college football. Oregon, the Civil
That's
War,
dumb.
week 3.
Yeah, I
Who
don't
do,
know.
To me, if it's been a tradition, don't break it.
Yeah.
My question is, how does Merrim handle life without the two of them, whatever his name was?
Talia
Yeah,
Dungavaloa. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, not that it's much, because I never really was high on Talia, but um, it's definitely going to be a drop off for their offense this year.
And that's why I think, because if Michigan State can get ahead enough, I think Michigan State could win that game based on that reason.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm interested to see how Boston College does, because they have to play Florida State and Missouri both on the road before
yep.
Michigan State.
Boston College could make a case for the toughest non-con schedule,
And the toughest
just
opener.
based on opponents. Western Kentucky. So at Missouri, and then the following week they host Michigan State, and then they host Western Kentucky.
They open up on the road at Florida State.
Yeah,
That's a, what do you say, maybe a one win in there? Maybe two?
yeah.
I don't know, but people are saying about Syracuse going to the 12-team playoff. I'm not really buying it.
I haven't even looked at their schedule.
Yes, they have Kyle Hyundai McCord, but that's it. Like,
They host Ohio, win. Host Georgia Tech, probably a loss. Actually,
probably,
I don't know. I'm high on Georgia Tech more so than I am Syracuse.
yeah. I don't think Georgia Tech will beat Georgia, but what do you say right now? 8-4, 7-5.
For Tech,
Yeah,
Syracuse might go 6-6 at most,
just ask Miami how that game against Georgia Tech last year went.
right?
I know the just ask Michigan fans how 2015 went against Sparty though. It's not that game is never to the clock at triple zeros.
Yep.
If you're a Michigan fan and you lost to Ohio State in 2016, was he actually short?
I just had a really good idea for a stream sometime.
What was he short stream?
Well, college football mysteries, because there's a lot of mysteries out there that we just never know about.
I think that one's one of those.
Yep.
To me, I don't know how Baylor is gonna fare out this year. I think Arizona and Utah might play for the Big 12 championship. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, you got
Maybe.
Oklahoma State has a case there too. Why
Yeah.
Oklahoma State is not playing Oklahoma this year? Why?
I do not know, but it should not have been canceled just because Oklahoma's going to the SEC. I thought that was crazy, man.
I thought it was. They said what Oklahoma says. Well, Oklahoma State didn't want to play because Oklahoma leads the all-time series by a bunch of wins.
Yeah.
You don't know. I don't get it.
Me neither. Well, hey, man, thanks for coming on and talking with us, and you're always welcome anytime.
Yeah.
Um, I do have to get some rest tonight because of work tomorrow and everything, but
Yeah.
um, any final words regarding your team or the Big Ten?
Not really.
Yeah, me neither. Other than I'm just excited to see the new teams. I think they're all going to do good, but in their
I don't.
own way. Like,
I don't think UCLA will be great. I don't think
you
Washington
know,
will do
be
much of anything.
average. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like Oregon's the best of those four.
UCLA might have,
Then
or USC might have a case for that too.
they might, but
If they can play.
top to bottom and roster and everything, and coaching right now, like who would you take between the two? I would take Dan Lanning over Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley has not won a playoff game. Now, neither has Dan Lanning. I understand that, but in the big games, like
Ohio State in what, 21?
I don't know,
At least Dan Lanning knows how to play a thing called defense.
right? Yeah,
But I understand UCLA or USC just puts points. Your defense can't give it up.
yeah.
I'm gonna jump
Well,
off
thanks
of
for
here.
coming on.
No problem, brother.
All right, thank you, man.
Yep.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, MSU fan, for coming on. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We had, I think, at most 3 people watching, which isn't bad, but love and appreciate all of you out there. I am exhausted. Gonna get some rest. Gonna wake up tomorrow, go to work. As far as streaming, probably nothing tomorrow. I don't plan on anything, at least. But we'll see. We might do something. Anyway, love you guys. Have a good night.